In this video, I'm going to show you some of my favorite examples of multi-step forms. So these are forms that are, some of them are super cool, right? And you know, I've been studying multi-step forms for like ages, and every time I find a good one, I make a note of it. So here is volume 1 of my favorite forms, and you can steal with pride. If you see one you like that you think is going to work for your site, then just create it for yourself and you will generate loads more inquiries and loads more money. So let's jump in. Okay, let's do this. So we're going to start with we've got a few here. Start with this one, right? So these guys are recruitment company, Total, whatever. And it's just the homepage looks like that, and then you click on hire top talent, and it brings you into the multi-step form, right? So you've got different things. So who would you like to hire? Say marketing expert. How many people you employed at your company? 15 to 30. Okay. So what's good about this is it's every time you click on a tile, it moves you to the next step. So that's a really important thing in multi-step sort of philosophy, if you like. You should, every time somebody selects a thing, it should auto move you to the next step. Even though sometimes you add a continue button at the bottom, most of the time we do add continue buttons at the bottom because it just reinforces the idea that this is a form and it's a process. So they've added skips in, which is okay. But you see they've got this, you can always go back a step. So it's important that there's a way back, right? So, you know, if you're selecting, now putting the back step there, interesting, because that's where you'd find the back button on a browser, so maybe that's a good idea. Typically we usually put it at the bottom next to the continue button, but that's fine. Yeah, you see, you click through, it takes you through 1 to 4 weeks. Needs flexibility, so you can add these little sort of extra bits of information here and there which are helpful. Okay, fine. I'm just going to skip that, and then your contact details at the end, right? So this is okay. I quite like these trust signals at the top, these logos. I think they're quite good. I don't know if I like them at the top there. I think you could incorporate them at the bottom, probably more effectively. And you see this sort of bar here, it moves as you go through it, which this is called a progress bar. It's very subtle, and sometimes subtle things can be okay, but you don't really notice it. It's not really working very hard. And the point of, and I'm going to show you in another example of a better example of this, the progress bar is supposed to engage the user and make them feel like, okay, I'm at 3 out of 7 steps here, or I'm at 33% through, or it lets the user know that this isn't just going to go on and on and on. And this form is quite lengthy. So I think the progress bar could be better. Probably make it a bit more obvious that it's actually a progress bar. My main sort of hesitation with this form is it looks really boring. It's really monotone. All the colors, it's either, it's blues and whites, and it's just written language, which, look, it'll still convert pretty well compared to a traditional looking form. Just the fact that you're asking questions one after the other is gonna convert better than a traditional looking form. But I think it could be a lot better if you just added sort of some images or some icons, made these into kind of image blocks, tiles. I'll show you in a second some better examples of this. It'd be just a lot more engaging, right? You just look at this and it's like, oh, yeah, I know it's a recruitment company, but it's kind of like, it feels pretty dull to go through it, right? But not too bad. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is this one. Okay, so this is a financial advisor company. I think they do all sorts of stuff. It's all finance related kind of quotes and, you know, finance, mortgage, insurance, accountants. And they do pretty well. They get loads of traffic. And interestingly, it's a great looking site. They heavily rely on multi-step forms, and it must be because they serve them well, right? That they convert really well. So some really good kind of sequences, some good flows that you see in these forms. So if we click into Financial Advisor, some really good stuff. So look how much more noticeable that progress bar is. It's not got any sort of indicator on it, so it's a little bit nebulous, but it's better than the previous one. It starts off with this, you know, let's find you the right financial advisor. And interestingly, it's got some trust signals here at the bottom, right? So I think this is better than the previous example where we had them at the top. So this is just at the bottom here is more subtle. They've been grayed out, grayscaled, so that they're not sort of too intrusive, because these just need to be subtle sort of psychological triggers. They don't need to be, you don't want to like steal the attention away from the actual form, but this works pretty well. And then you go into the form. Okay, so I need some help with, like, that language, because it's all about the user. It's not what do you need help with, it's I need some help with. Okay, and then it's, you know, classic multiple choice, and that's one of the reasons why multi-step forms work so well, is that we can all do multiple choice, right? And it's like the most basic type of like exam question, right? Even though, you know, very few people win Who Wants to be a Millionaire, and that's multiple choice, so it's still anyway, I digress. Quite cool that they've got this show more options. So they've just, obviously these are the three sort of main sort of revenue drivers, but there's also other options down here that they hide there. So let's just go pensions and retirement. Again, you see auto advance to the next one, even though they've got a next button in there. There's got a back. You see there's a next there, but you never click on that next, because when you click on an option, it auto advances you to the next one. That's perfect. Okay, pensions, like they've got tons of choices here. Let's just say I'm going to go for a biggie. Cash savings, most people underestimate what they have, so this explainer text is nice. Let's just say I'll go for that one. Stock, shares and fund, most people okay, fine. Tell us what you're hoping to achieve, right? So this is there's quite a lot going on this step, right? So it's asking for a bit more information about my goals and etc. And it's telling us sort of giving me a bit of a steer around what to add. Okay, messages required. I'm just going to put some lorem ipsum in here. God, it's gonna okay, let's just add some of that. That's fine. I'm just going to untick that and then hit next. Now there you have to actually hit next, because you can only do the auto advance when it's a multiple choice. When you're asking somebody to fill something in, you've got to add that next step, right? What is your age? Okay, I'm going to go that one. What's your income? That one. Almost done. Okay. So here we come to the crux of what makes or breaks multi-step forms, which is this last bit, because the whole sort of philosophy of a multi-step form is that you start off with qualifying questions, and then at the end, you ask for their contact details, which again is another reason why they convert so well, because you've already engaged the user in answering questions about the thing. So when it comes to this part, you tap into the whole sunk cost fallacy, or it's basically people have invested time in a thing and they don't want to give up on it, right? You've been answering these questions. It's a lot easier to fill your details in at this point if you're already invested in the process. So this is good. Text almost done. So the progress bars near the end, almost done. Where should we send your match? So it's kind of like it's again telling us why they need the email. So I'm just gonna whack in an email for me, and then it's gonna probably ask for my phone number here. Okay, first name, fine, and then postcode. Okay, let's just see what happens. Okay. And then one last step, the mobile phone, right? So, they're again telling you that they're not going to mess around with it, and, all that stuff, and then submit, right? So there's basically three steps to that, the contact details there. I'm sure they've tested this a lot. So one good thing about when you see a site that you can just tell that they would have heavily invested in it. So there's probably a good reason why they've got the contact details set up like that. So I think it's pretty good. Yeah, so that's unbiased. I think there's tons of good stuff about that. I would like to have seen more. Again, similar to the previous one, I'd like to have seen more use of imagery and icons and so forth, right? But not bad. Okay, so on to the next one. We're gonna go into a solar one now, right? And this is these are the eco experts. Now you'll find actually the solar industry is really, really strong on multi-step forms, right? Because it's such a competitive industry, and the price tag of a solar installation is so high that basically marketing agencies and companies throw a lot of money at getting inquiries in, and sure enough, multi-step forms are the way they do it. So here's a really good example of one. So I'm just going to start that again. So if I just go back to, let's go here. So notice the progress bar there. Now these guys have got a percentage, which is really good. So do you need solar panels for your home or business? You see they've got these little icons here. I think are really cute. Home progress bar goes up to 8. Are you a homeowner or a tenant? I'm going to say a tenant. Do you have no? Progress 23. Okay, solar panels. Do you live in a conservation area? Okay, I'm just going to keep selecting this. And then let's just whack in that. Okay, this is good. That little loader screen there is really good. Now it looks a bit like kind of like, okay, it looks like it's loading something. Now these transition stages are really important for kind of generating some suspense or some sort of it. Now whether that is actually doing anything on the back end in their systems, that I don't know, right? But for sure, adding that step in, and that step could be, you can go crazy on that step, and you can add different animations in and different scrolling wheels and whatever you want. But generating that sense of anticipation really helps with the contact details step, right? Again, they're using the language almost there, similar to the unbiased form we just saw before. There's a reason why almost there is good. Basically, that you're nearly there. Okay, let's just whack in your email again, and then name. Okay, only 2 steps left, so they've broken it down again. It's good that they've just got one field for full name. They've not got a separate first name and last name. That's better. Continue. Okay, and last step, progress 92, done. Yeah. And again, these guys, the guys who build these forms, they test tons of stuff. So you know that this sort of sequence converts well, right? That's not to say that you shouldn't be testing for your own site as well. You should be, but you can get quite far by just sort of taking a steer from what sites like this do. Now, notice that this, as well as the progress here, they've got this this little clock, this stopwatch, and a seconds left thing, right? So that again, what you're fighting with here is people's impatience. So the more you can just reassure people that they're nearly done, the better it is for inquiries, for getting people over the line. So there's 5 seconds left, and you would have noticed that sort of kept going down as we went through the form. So that's a really good one, right? I'll put all the links to these in the description of the video so you can have a look yourself. But this is again, see in the bottom here, they've got their trust signals. They've got these logos as featured on, great, and other stuff. Yeah. I think that's a really solid example, and I'm sure it looks great on mobile. Okay. So that was the Eco Experts. On to now, we're going to jump into boilers. So boilers, I don't know if you are familiar with boilers. That's what we call them in the UK, at least. I think that's what they call them everywhere, but I might be wrong. Anyway, there's a good example here of a good engaging multi-step form. So I'm going to click on get your fixed price. Okay. So again, similar to the Eco Experts, they're using imagery and icons, right? As you just scroll over the top of the two, you see there's a lot going on. It's cool. Homeowner, okay, and the icons are sort of shrinking and expanding. It's fun, it's engaging, and there's a little tooltip thing there. Oh no, you can't click on it. Okay, so I'm going to go gas. I like how they there's no back button. Okay, so back button here. Yeah, it's okay, I suppose, but it's a bit out of the way. I'd prefer a back button sort of nearer the form. What type of boiler? So they're highlighting type, okay, and then you've got a bit of a tooltip how to find what type of boiler you have. I think is okay. Again, images look really clear. Let's go system. Do you want to convert to a combi boiler? Let's say yes. How would you describe your current boiler? Okay, old and inefficient. Yes, it is wall mounted. No, it's not. Roughly how old is your boiler? Okay, 25 years. Okay, so this is going on a bit. Now, you notice this just feels like never ending at this point. Now, there is this progress bar at the top, very similar to the first form we looked at, that recruitment site, but it kind of gets hidden. And at this point, I think that there's probably quite a high drop off on this form, because it's like, really, this is just going on forever now. Clicking, all the icons look very similar. There's no sort of like animations or it's just, how many bedrooms do you have? 2 bathrooms? No. 1 shower? No. Okay. And I mean, how many steps? It's like 20 steps or something. Maybe I've just gone a very long way through the form, but that is a lot of stuff going on. So when I put in my postcode, okay, let's try that. Then let's see what it does here. Then it takes me to the product, okay? And then if I choose on the product, I guess it's it's basically an e-commerce site with a lead gen form at the front. So it's different to the sort of sites that we have been looking at. But there's some good things about the form. But I think in general it gets very dull after a while. It gets very boring. to go through all those steps. Too many steps. I think fewer steps and make it more engaging. So we're going to go on to a form that's actually a marketing agency who are pretty good at what they do, and their form is nice actually. So they got this start my free marketing plan. So I think on their homepage, that's where I found this. Yeah, so you get your free marketing plan, and what I like about this is it's kind of offering this plan, right? So, I want to start my free marketing plan, fine. And then it's asking me these questions, right? It's not asking me to inquire. It's not asking me for, like to get a quote or get a free order. It's like, get your free plan, but you've got to answer these questions first. So what do you need help with? Okay, let's say paid market, advertising, content marketing, increase revenue. So these are all sort of like multiple choice, quite nice. Almost there. You notice the almost there again. What's your current monthly digital marketing budget? Okay, there's that. I'll put that. And then what's your, let's say, now notice there's no progress bar here, which I think is missing. And yeah, I think this could be broken up. Your name, your business email, phone number, and then send your free marketing plan. It's not bad, that one, but I think if they applied some of the best practice that we've seen from the other forms that we've gone through, I think they would do better. So let's jump into another one. Now, this is actually a food delivery service, right? So this again is not a typical sort of lead gen site, but it does some good things in its form that you can still apply to really any form. Whether it's sort of e-commerce, subscription, lead gen, whatever. So what they do here is, let's check if we deliver to your area. So I'm just going to put in my postcode. Good, we deliver to your area. I'm assuming it's actually looking that up and checking, right? But what I like about this is the progress bar is like really nice. It's kind of like showing you the process. Okay, continue. What kind of meals do you like? Okay, so what I like about that is it's multi-select, but the caption down here changes whether it's one or two. I don't know if it's changing actually of whether that is dependent on the actual tile that you've clicked on. But it's nice that as you click, it's actually meat, so it's get cooking with containing meat. So if you just go on veggie, make meat-free meals, great. So family of all ages, great. And then quick cook, whip up a meal with a little time. So it's actually really good. It's tailored to the one you've clicked on. But then if you click on two, so if we go quick cook family, it kind of it is relate. No, it's just kind of like, there's obviously some sort of rule that they apply there, but it's nice that it gives you more information. Okay, so I'm going to go quick cook, continue, and then notice the progress bar moves along. I'm going to go high protein and then continue. What are your goals with HelloFresh? Okay, multi-select, fine. 3 or 4 days a week. How many people will be at the table? So this is quite nice. You can, 2 adults, 1 kid. It's kind of weird that, you kind of want to see more kids. So if they're doing 1 adult, well, there's actually no 1 adult. It's 2 adults. It's basically if there's adults, or let's say, you can't just choose kids. But it's good that there is something happening. I think a general rule is that the more sort of interactivity you can add, the more like when somebody clicks on something changes, the better. Yeah, it's just human nature. It's just going to make it more engaging, right? And then here we go. It's